Hello everyone! I've counted the votes, and the card you wanted me to talk about most is Archmage Antonidas.
You require my assistance?
I think this is actually the first time that I really dive into his story, so should be good. Let's begin, shall we? Antonidas was leader of the Kirin Tor and ruler of Dalaran during some of the most dire times that Warcraft has seen. He was part of those that decided to send Khadgar to become the apprentice of the Guardian Medivh, and those that have been keeping up with the channel, you know that Medivh was corrupted by the spirit of Sargeras, opened up the Dark Portal, which allowed the Orcish horde to enter the world and start the first invasion. His corruption was eventually discovered, and in the final confrontation, Medivh literally sucked the youth out of Khadgar, turning him into a very old man. Despite this, they were able to still kill the Guardian, stop Sargeras from manifesting, but the orcs, they were still on the planet and their invasion went on. Despite people like Anduin Lothar and Khadgar doing their very best to stop the orcs, Stormwind still fell and their people were forced to flee across the sea all the way to Lordaeron to warn the world of this alien invading force and get it ready to defend itself. Despite Lothar's honor and truth of his words, the nobles were still hesitant to believe this incredible story of a force so powerful, and Khadgar thought that he would have to pitch in and try to do something, although he doubted that it would actually make any difference. Fortunately for him, Archmage Antonidas spoke to the fellow rulers about the reports of the orcs that had already been made to the Kirin Tor. They underestimated the seriousness of this threat and thought that it was little more than a local nuisance confined to that continent. Now that Stormwind had fallen, it seems that they were very wrong, and although their own magic was stronger than the Orcish warlocks, the orcs, they were able to work together and outnumber the Magi greatly. Antonidas understood exactly what Lothar was talking about, and eventually the nobles agreed to form the Alliance of Lordaeron, band together and fight back against the Horde. Khadgar then made his report to the Council of Six about most of what had happened during his time with Medivh, and he became a mediator between the Alliance of Lordaeron and the forces of Dalaran. These combined forces were eventually able to defeat the Horde, and those that surrendered, they were placed within internment camps. The Dark Portal was closed, but would not stay closed forever. The orcs eventually returned for a second invasion, this time not to conquer the planet. This time they had come to steal powerful artifacts and use those artifacts to create more portals to different worlds. One of the artifacts that they required, it was the Eye of Dalaran, which was locked away within the Arcane Vault near the heart of the Violet Citadel. Alarms went off as the Death Knights of the Horde made their way in to steal their prize. Antonidas, Kael'thas Sunstrider, Kresis and others, they tried to stop them, but the undead creatures did not come alone. The Black Dragon aspect, Deathwing himself, had allied with the orcs. Antonidas always said that every mage should know his limits, and on that night, he knew that he had met his. Deathwing could have easily torn through the ward that they enacted around the city. They were never built to withstand such a giant, and the Death Knights got what they came for, one of the city's most powerful artifacts. In a dream in which Khadgar was young again, Antonidas spoke to him and told him about what had happened within the city. At this point, they didn't really know why they took it and what the orcs were planning to do, but soon enough they figured out their plans and they realized that they would have to step through the Dark Portal and take the fight to the orcs. They could not allow them to bring the same pain and suffering to other worlds, so the sons of Lothar, including Khadgar, they left all that they knew behind and they ventured forth into Draenor. They were able to stop the orcs from invading more worlds, but they were also forced to shut the portal from Draenor's side, making the ultimate sacrifice. Numbek and Azeroth truly knew what had happened to these heroes, and in honor of their brave sacrifice, statues were placed in front of Stormwind. For Khadgar's memorial, it was Antonidas who wrote, "Never did one so selfishly delve into the dark heart of magic and warfare. We wish you well, bold wanderer, wherever you are." There is a similar memorial in-game, but this one can be found within Dalaran, and it's for Antonidas himself. The writing on this one says, "Archmage Antonidas, Grand Magus of the Kirin Tor. The great city of Dalaran stands once again, a testament to the tenacity and will of its greatest son. Your sacrifices will not have been in vain, dearest friends. With love and honor, Jaina Proudmoore." The reason for this one is that Jaina Proudmoore was accepted within Dalaran to study the magical arts, and she was even accepted as Antonidas' apprentice. She absolutely loved being inside the city, learning all that she could, but she also fell in love with a young prince who went out of his way to visit his childhood friend within the magical city. Arthas Menethil joined them for the time, and during one of his visits, they discussed the orcs still locked away within the camps. Some believed that the gold that they were asking from the people to keep these camps going, that it was too much, and that they should simply put the orcs out of their misery, but Jaina didn't agree. agree. She had visited the camps when she was just a child, and she did not see the creatures that the others saw. Antonidas quickly cut into their discussion, stating that the law was Lordaeron's and that King Tyrannus could do as he saw fit in his own realm. He was personally more interested in the strange illness of the orcs that had taken hold of them. According to the records, the orcs were not always the bloodthirsty force that they have faced in the past. Apparently, there were demonic forces at play, and if they were able to return the orcs to their peaceful state, then they would have no need to keep them imprisoned and the money could be distributed elsewhere. Now keep in mind that this is before the whole Vrouw reforming the Horde. The ideas of Antonidas, it went against what most people thought about the orcs, and it most likely enforced Jaina's beliefs that the orcs were not just animals to be put down, allowing her mind to be open to the possibility of working together with the Horde. It's a good thing too, since an alliance would soon enough be needed. During Warcraft 3, the Prophet Medivh, now resurrected by his mother and no longer corrupted, he went about warning the world of the threat of the Legion. He tried to talk to King Tyrannus, Arthas Menethil, and even Antonidas himself, but none of them would listen to his words. Only Jaina was willing to keep an open mind and consider what he had to say. Arthas eventually made the decision to purge Stratholme, he fell to the dark side and he picked up Frostmourne. He became a puppet of the Lich King and by extension a tool of the Legion. He resurrected Kael'thas, and in order to summon Archmage to the world, they needed to get their hands on the Book of Medivh, the book which was kept within Dalaran.
Your petty magics will not stop me, Antonidas.
Pull your troops back, or we will be forced to unleash our full powers against you. Make your choice, Death Knight.
Jaina was there as Antonidas stepped back from the balcony. She thought that maybe she could still reason with the man that she had loved. Maybe she could. She fell silent, hearing the unrealistic wanting in her own voice. She hadn't even been able to stop him from murdering innocents in Stratholme, or going to Northrend when she was certain it was a trap. He had not listened to her then, and if Arthas was indeed under some dark influence, how could she dissuade him now? There was so much that she wanted to say to Antonidas, her mentor, her guide, but all she could give him was a shaky smile now, as he fought what they both knew would likely be his last battle. She found she couldn't even say goodbye to him. "I'll take care of our people," she said thickly, cast a teleportation spell, and disappeared.
It pains me to even look at you, Arthas.
I'll be happy to end your torment, old man. I told you that your magics could not stop me.
And so, Archmage Antonidas was slain by Arthas. Archmage was indeed summoned to the world, and Dalaran would fall. His teachings would live on though through Jaina Proudmoore, who followed Medivh's guidance, allied herself with people like Vrouw and Tyrande, and together they stood against the demonic force of the Legion and vanquished them from the world. Antonidas' spirit, it lingered on for a little bit longer, trying to defend Dalaran even after death, but Prince Kael'thas was kind enough to put him to rest. And that's where we'll end the story for today. It's quite a big one, and I'll probably make a full video one day with all the little details, maybe even talk about his alternate versions, but this will have to do for now. As always, I'll leave it up to you guys girls to decide what card we're going to talk about next, so leave your suggestions in the comments down below, and who knows, your card might be used in the next video. Subscribe if you like my videos, leave a like if you enjoyed this one, and until next time guys, see ya!